here tonight to the invocation.
Let us pray. Gracious God, send down upon these leaders who hold office in Kennett, Missouri, the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their positions to promote the well-being of all people. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Councilman Carter, will you lead the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to welcome everyone tonight. Glad to see it's a full house, and we appreciate your attendance. All right, at this time, we go into approval of minutes of the meeting from May 2nd. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second from Kennett. Any discussion, changes, alterations, or changes done? All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Any committee reports due in?
Do need to have a closed session after the meeting, please.
What's your reason? First.
Personnel.
You got personnel? Yeah. Okay. Closed meeting for personnel. All right. Any department reports, anything new that we need to bring to the council or the public?
I have nothing.
Not for the street department. One quick thing.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chief,
Okay.
please, sir.
I just want to comment on something real quick. A lot of times stuff like this does not come to the public eye. Yesterday we had an incident, unfortunate accident that left a 2-year-old not breathing. At the time we arrived on the scene, our fire department paramedics are already on the scene giving life-saving measures to this young lady. If it had not been for those paramedics that are on the scene yesterday, I don't believe this young lady would have lived. Again, my comment is that I just want to thank them for the job they did, because it changed our course of how we handled that whole situation. So again, I greatly appreciate their efforts of what they did. And other than that, unless you guys got any questions, that's all I have. Thank you.
Very good report. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Then we're going to move on into unfinished business. The vote for the marijuana sales tax that may or may not be on the August ballot that was tabled for this meeting, and so we need to open the discussion. I'd entertain a motion, a second for it, and then we'll have the discussions for proper protocol, if we so choose to do such. Is there any favor within council to approve the marijuana sales tax?
To approve it?
To approve, disapprove, and
Put it on the ballot.
To
discussion.
put it on the ballot?
Huh?
And so we're still in discussion on whether we want to put both on the ballot or put just one on the ballot. Is that correct?
Well, we already have the capital improvement sales tax that's been approved on the ballot. That's the only measure on the ballot currently.
And this would be for discussion, and it would not necessarily have to be for the August ballot. It could also be for a future ballot.
This particular discussion would be for the August ballot only.
I make a motion.
We have a motion.
I second it.
We have a second. So now the floor is open for discussion. Pros and cons, please.
The pros would be that extra income coming off of the tax. I can't.
Let me, so we're in discussion. I got an email from Mr. Westerfield to clarify some information on there. Basically, the state charges a 6% tax. What I read, and Terry correct us if we're wrong, but the state charges 6%. If the citizens choose to add this tax, it would be an additional 3% on top of 6%. Right? So it'd be a 9% tax. I think there's some confusion of whether that's 6% or. So currently they're paying a city sales tax, which is our general revenue sales tax. This 3% would be an additional tax, and it's only for recreational, not the medical side. But we have no limitations as far as local government on our 3% that I read. The state has limitations, but the local government just says for local use.
And
Well,
do,
for recreational.
Recreational only, yes.
and do we know how soon we would be able to start collecting it? It'd be first of the year.
Mayor, if I could, it doesn't have to be 3%. I think it reads that
Up to.
it can be up to 3%.
Correct.
So it could actually be lower if you decided to make it a little bit lower, but.
On that paper you gave me, that's what it's
Yeah,
up to.
yes, medical is gonna remain at 4%, and then, like you said,
I think the only roadblock right now is, are we afraid to add the second one onto the ballot? So I think that's a discussion we had prior meeting. Now, I will say, Councilman Palmer, he's called, he's sick tonight, but he wanted to express that just for the reason of not adding another $10,000 election expense, he would be for it just to be on this ballot. It's ultimately the citizens' decision, it's not our decision to make.
Right.
At the finance meeting, the finance committee agreed that we would oppose putting it on the ballot.
So there's a recommendation from the finance committee.
And I am on that committee, and after sitting through these budget discussions over the past week, I'm just torn. We need more revenue, and I don't know where else we get it. But I'm also fearful, concerned that we wouldn't be able then to pass the other tax that we have to function.
If I may add, the capital improvement tax so far, year to date, has brought in $417,977. That's what you're risking to lose, and we have another month to go. So
I'm sorry.
we're looking at, it brings in about 37,000 average, so 450,000 is that we're risking if we don't pass the capital improvement tax.
Can I ask a question?
Let's come up to the podium, please.
On the tax thing, is it gonna be to where you can pass the capital improvement and not the marijuana, or is it all or none? They had to be both?
It'll be two different ones.
So one can pass and one can fail?
Correct.
Or
Okay,
they both fail.
right, so it's not, okay.
Or both can fail.
Right, but I mean, it's not one of those where either both of them pass or both of them fail. It can be.
It can be.
Okay.
I understand the concern of not wanting to spend the $10,000 for another election, but it just, you know, if we could get the education out there and understand, everybody understand how vital this money is needed, I think it would pass, but that's a big gamble if it doesn't.
In talking to people, a lot of people I talk to just don't understand it when you explain it to them. They do, but how many of those one-on-one conversations can we have? Or how do we get surrogates to carry that measure, or this concerned citizens group to carry that message and help with doing it, so that people will support these measures? I mean, we're spending more money than we have coming in, and if this capital improvements doesn't pass, we're in an even bigger hole than we are already trying to cut these budgets. So I just don't know.
Mayor, City Council, I've proposed this to a couple of the City Council, and I just think it prudent that I bring it up before the whole council. Whether you're talking about this capital improvement tax, marijuana tax, or both, irrelevant, whichever tax you choose to put on this ballot, my recommendation, at least mull it over, to reach the most citizens in town. Everybody has social media, number one. Number two, get with your county commission, see if you could use the old courtroom at City Hall. Notify the newspaper, notify the radio station. Most of you all have official Facebook pages. You get together at least one, if not more, town hall meetings. Stream these things live. Stream them through the newspaper live. Have the radio station there live. Stream them through y'all's social media Facebook pages live. You're going to reach more people that way than you will ever reach any other form. Everybody's on social media. Not saying that's the solution, I'm just throwing that out there as something to at least consider. I think y'all are on the right track. We have to, get the public educated, and to me, that is probably gonna reach more people than any other thing. I heard flyers mentioned here a while back. The problem is, that's gonna cost money to print flyers, and who are you gonna have to deliver? Because really, you need to go door to door. You just place them at certain facilities, you're only gonna reach a small amount of people. I think you'll reach the biggest amount of people with the solution that I propose.
Thank you. Any more comments or discussion?
Would we want to ask if anyone in the room has an opinion? Is that appropriate to do here?
You might care to,
Well, I'm loud enough to be heard all over the road, but Steve Patton, I live in Ward 2, I live right by
You
him.
don't ever talk, though.
Yeah, well, I feel like both taxes are needed, but the capital improvements is the most needed.
right.
And I believe that the ballot in August should be just the capital improvements, and you can even wait till April, and you won't pay for any election. The marijuana tax can wait as late as April. That's my opinion. It'd be great to have that 3 cents, but we gotta have the capital improvement. So there's my 2 cents.
Terry, if we put that on the April ballot,
Whatever it is.
are we still starting to collect next January?
If we put it on the April ballot, it will be the first quarter after passage, which would be, I believe, June or July.
So we're talking about losing 6 months of revenue from that.
Yes.
All good comments, but do we have any more? Anyone else in the public would like to? Okay, we got quiet, so it's time to vote.
Well, actually, what we need to do is vote on the ordinance.
To put it on there?
Or, I mean, well, I don't know, you can vote on this motion, and we just won't bring the ordinance up.
Either way.
Well,
However you want to do
let's
it.
vote on the ordinance.
Yeah.
That's the right way to do it.
All right, first reading. This is for 3% sales tax on recreational marijuana. An ordinance imposing a sales tax at a rate of 3% on all tangible personal property retail sales of adult use marijuana sold within the city of Kennett, Missouri pursuant to Article 14, Section 2.65 of the Missouri Constitution, subject to the approval by the voters of the city at a special municipal election held on August 8, 2023, designated the form of ballot and directing the city clerk to provide notice of said election.
Be the first vote for the ordinance, reading of the ordinance. We've already made a motion to second on it.
Yeah.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, second reading.
An ordinance imposing a sales tax at a rate of 3% on all tangible personal property retail sales of adult use marijuana sold within the city of Kennett, Missouri, pursuant to Article 14, Section 2.65 of the Missouri Constitution, subject to the approval by the voters of the city at the special municipal election to be held on August 8, 2023, designating the form of the ballot and directing the city clerk to provide notice of said election.
All right, it's gonna be a roll call vote. I believe I started here last meeting, so we'll start on your side. Yes, sir.
Please explain what no vote means here at this point.
A yes vote means that you're approving the sales tax and putting the issue on the ballot,
On the August ballot.
on the August ballot.
A no vote means that you can take it up at a later time also.
Sure.
Don't have to, this is not killing the ordinance forever, it's just for this one specific time. Everybody clear?
Yes.
We'll do we have a motion for the roll, we don't need a motion.
We should have a motion.
Motion?
We should have a motion.
Motion for the roll call vote.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Councilmember Drought.
No.
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 Okay. passes, or not passes. No, it not passes. So, all right, we'll continue this. I was saying, would you bring this back up in around January next year?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
we'll table that for, or put that on the back burner. Oh, let me this thing pop back up. Sorry, I used to be on the paper agenda, but I had to do it. Yes. Okay, next item up is new business. At this time, anyone here tonight wish to come forward with their sales tax or tourism tax allocation here?
Council, Mr. Mayor. Good evening. I'm Dan Ray, Executive Director of the Kennett Chamber of Commerce. For several years, the Kennett Chamber of Commerce has entered a contract with the City of Kennett to perform tourism marketing services. I'm here this evening to ask you to renew that contract for the 2023-2024 financial period. We're requesting a contract renewal in the amount of $25,000 because of our partnership and Dunklin County's designation, making Kennett Chamber the county's designated marketing organization. We were able to leverage funds with the Missouri Division of Tourism this past year, which allowed us advertising for our city. We've been able to use the tourism tax funds and these grant funds to back local organizations in funding their events, like Fall in the Arts and so on. The increased advertising over the past year has worked. It's gave a boost to lodging reservations, which in turn has created local tourism tax revenue. So we hope you will renew this contract and continue the fruitful relationship.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next meeting.
Appreciate it. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Please.
I'm Lana Johnson, and I'm the Executive Director of Aging Matters, and I'm here to submit a sales tax proposal on behalf of the Kennett Oaks. The amount of the request is $125,000. As you know, the program has been here for quite some time. It's very successful. In the last 10 months, we have served 70,000 plus meals to seniors in this area, and we're very proud of that. We have a program that functions from Monday through Friday. Individuals 60 and older come to our facility and take advantage of a really hot, well-balanced meal. We offer a number of activities every day. Multiple things are going on, and our attendance, as you might see from that number, is excellent. So we do have an application to give each one of you to review. If we could hand that out to you at this time. We have been supplying all of you with information about the actual costs and the bills that we are incurring in our facility since about October, so that you can look at all of those things and see what kind of money we're spending and what good use we're putting those dollars to. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, and if not, I'll sit back in.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
We haven't had time to review it, but there may be questions. We don't have it
For the next meeting.
Okay, appreciate that, and
Just for right now, this is the same amount you received this last year. is that
Yes,
right?
it is, sir.
So it's the same
it
request.
is. Okay.
Thank you very much.
If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us, and if need be, we'll be happy to come back.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Where want me to go? Yep.
with DNA of Southeast Missouri, and we are also here requesting funds from senior tax. As you know, many years we requested this Vicki Rue, who was long-standing, runner of our senior companion program, and over the last couple of years, we Vicki, due to health reasons, was not able. Graciously, the Oaks last year requested this for us, so we're back on. We have someone run that program, but just to give you a brief overview, Senior Companion Program is a grant-funded program that we've been doing for many years. Great service to this community for seniors. Anybody 55 and over can, do this program. They do many things, whether it just be giving respite care to seniors, doing activities with them, and just various things of that nature. This year we are requesting $12,000 from the program. Typically in the past, I will say, typically it's around 10. Just to kind of give you a background on a little bit reasons more, and we've got everything in the proposal that shows where the where things are going in Kennett and the funds. We do typically get United Way always helps big with this as well. We have just started another program that is another non-income driven program for us, which is called an AIM program, and United Way decided to go that route this year for that. So we are requesting a little bit more. It's not much, but it's spelled out on the first page. But anybody that has any questions, be glad to answer about the program. Or
We may not have any yet, but we know where to reach it.
yeah, all right.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. My name is Stephen Shear, and I'm the pastor of First Baptist Church here in Kennett. I'm also the president of the Kennett Ministerial Alliance here in our community, and I am representing the Alliance here this evening. As you probably know, the Kennett Ministerial Alliance is made up of any and all local pastors who choose to participate. The current membership includes the pastor of the First Christian Church, the First Presbyterian Church, the First United Methodist Church, Ely Baptist Church, as well as First Baptist Church. And then one of the main duties that we have is to oversee Helping Hand. I'm assuming most of you all are familiar with Helping Hand. It's been in operation for a number of years in our community. Helping Hand is a thrift store as well as a food pantry. The thrift store sales fund primarily the food pantry, but without monthly financial contributions from local churches and individuals and other organizations, Helping Hand would operate at a loss. We do have one paid part-time employee, Lisa Duvall, plus a number of very kind volunteers from our community and from our churches who assist Lisa in doing what we believe is very important work here in our community in primarily serving low-income individuals here in Kennett. The Helping Hand Food Pantry does not exclusively serve senior citizens. However, low-income seniors in our community receive a large percentage of food that is distributed overall each month out of the Helping Hand building. Each month, 250 local residents who are at least 60 years of age and have an income at or below 130% of the federal poverty level receive 2 boxes of food monthly from Helping Hand. In addition to these 250 individuals, we have a waiting list of over 100 individuals who also qualify to receive food, but we are currently unable to serve them due to financial and personnel limitations. We are convinced that Helping Hand provides much needed services to senior citizens in our community, and today we are humbly requesting for the City Council to consider helping Hand have a greater impact here in our community. I do have a printed proposal that I will share with you in just a moment, and in this proposal you will note that there's a number of ways we would consider using any allocated funds that you would decide to give us if you so choose. The purchase of additional food, the hiring of an additional part-time employee, the purchase of additional freezers and refrigerators to increase our capacity to receive and properly store fresh produce and other perishable food items, as well as building renovations and improvements are just some of the ways that we believe that funds allocated from you all could be used to better serve the low-income seniors in our community. On behalf of the Kennett Ministerial Alliance, thank you very much for allowing us to speak tonight to you. I've got a written proposal.
do you have a percentage of your population? I know you said you gave us a number, but do you have a percentage of what food goes to senior citizens?
As far as like overall for the month, I believe Lisa had said about 75% of all the food that goes out each month is senior citizens. I can get a more exact number, percentage if you need me to.
Okay. Whenever I reach you, if we do something.
Thank
Thank you very much. Anyone else here tonight? Close that hearing. And thank you all for presenting to us, please. for tonight. Item B on new business, Spence Alley direction ordinance.
That was actually passed in 2017.
Okay, so there's no ordinance needed. Signage, did you get the signs?
We put no parking up.
Yeah, I think what Bill was talking about last week was really not Spence Streets. He was talking about the one behind,
Spence Alley.
Yes, Spence Alley.
Yes.
Spence has been
Yes.
taken care of
Yeah.
some time ago.
Spence Alley.
Spence Street, yeah, Spence Alley does have one way on it, but I think now we put no parking up. I don't know if there's an ordinance for that or not.
I wasn't asked to prepare an ordinance, I was asked to prepare one-way street ordinance, which is what was passed in 2007.
Yes, those signs are already up there.
No parking.
So they cannot park in
They
there.
can't park in the alley anyway, it would block the alley.
I don't know, there's no parking signs up there now. I don't know about ordinances and stuff. We just
Well,
put, Bill said put signs up, we put them
You
up.
can't park, there's ordinances against parking that
It
that
seems
blocks.
to help having those
roadways.
signs up there already.
On Spence Street, there's 2-hour parking.
Spence Street,
Yes.
we're talking about Spence Alley.
Okay,
Spence
Between,
Alley is the part from
between Kennett
Kennett to
and Main.
Main,
gotcha. All right.
and it's,
Few, to say the least, because they're right
Yes, it
there.
is. I just.
You got one street and you got one's alley, so it's,
Right.
and
Okay.
they each
And
go
both
a
of them
different
been
direction.
considered alleys for years, but
Yeah.
one under the street, yes.
okay, well, we'll move on to item C, ratify fire, was this the closed session that you requested?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll move that to the closed session. Okay, item D, transfer of funds. What's that about?
Is that the money in the reserve accounts that we decided at the finance committee to move them over to the?
Oh, okay, that's okay, so basically, I'll just tell you what it is. Friday before last, city account was about $23,000, way below where it needed to be. So a decision was made by the finance committee and also, during that day, that we decided to move any and all savings that we could possibly move over into general revenue checking account. Therefore, we could keep the lights on in the city to save it. So say. So that's
You
what,
need a motion for that?
I don't believe so, we can move money in
Yeah.
It's already been
for
done.
operations, so.
Yeah.
I
it's
told
been
me to
done.
do it, and I did it that back, I did it the next one.
No, I don't think there's.
No, it's,
That's not something that the city council
Yeah.
has to approve.
okay, we're just giving you heads up, that's what we did.
Now, we also, finance committee agreed to go ahead and pay off the Compress building.
Correct.
That just saves
It was
interest payment.
$26,000, we had it in the Compress account, we decided to pay a couple months earlier, just
Right.
eliminate that line item.
So, and there's still 36,000 in the compress loan.
Yeah, we'll keep
The
that there
compress
for
reserve.
maintenance and reserve in case we need to do some maintenance there.
And there's still 16,000 in the city savings, I just moved 200 over.
All right,
Okay.
so we're gonna move on to item E, City Hall vehicle. You all know there's a white vehicle parked out here in the parking lot that I haven't seen moved in quite some time. I think it's time that we decide to either move that vehicle along, put it out for bids to sell, or if there's any department, I believe there's not, since we've discussed, but